Hello there. I have to admit I wasn't expecting any visitors this evening. In fact, no one has knocked on this door in quite a long time. Are you lost? Just caught in the rain. Yes, this is turning out to be quite a bad storm, isn't it? I wouldn't want to get caught in there traveling, even if I wasn't lost. Look at you. You're chilled to the bone, aren't you? Come on, you'd better come inside. I have a fire going. We can get you some tea, anything else that you might need. We'll get you all warmed up and out of this rain, okay? All right, come on in. All right. Well, that's already quite a bit more comfortable, isn't it? Just being out of the cold and the rain. That cloak of yours is, it's quite wet. Would you like to take that off? Okay, yeah, why don't you take that cloak off and we'll hang it by the fire over here. Okay. Thank you. It's a nice cloak. Nice material. There we are. There. That should dry nicely. Luckily, I was already a little bit cold before you got here, so we've got a nice roaring fire that will help to warm you up in no time. It does look like your cloak kept the rest of your clothing pretty dry, though. That's good. Although you are still rather wet, your hair and your face. Why don't I wipe you off a little bit? Is that all right? Okay, here. Just hold still. There we go. There. Just. There. Does that feel a little more comfortable? Good. Good, good. There we are. Here, I guess if you'd like to dab off a little bit more, I'll let you have that. There. Well, that should be much more comfortable now, shouldn't it? Good. Does sound like quite the storm out there. But at least we're warm and dry in here, right? Yeah. You know, if you don't mind me saying, you look like you have quite a lot on your mind. Not just getting caught in a rainstorm, but something quite a bit more serious. Is that true? Old habits die hard, I guess. You see, I used to be a sort of healer for a village not too far from here. I wasn't someone who healed the physical body, per se. My art was more in healing the spirit. I was a spirit healer. Unfortunately, that's an art that not many people appreciate anymore. So I ended up leaving the village and coming out here and perfecting my craft sort of on my own, hoping that someday I would be able to help people again. Maybe I still will eventually. But you're here. Perhaps the Lady Fate has brought us together. like I said, it has been a very, very long time since anyone has knocked on that door over there. So, if you don't mind me asking, what is the nature of this trouble? You said you're not lost. You know where you're going. To Whisperwind. Ah, yes. Yeah, that village is not too far from here. So you're not lost physically, I suppose. But I can't help but feeling that you're perhaps lost in another way. You seem to have quite the heavy burden on you. Well, if you would like, I do have quite a few different tools of the trade, I suppose you could say. I have generations of being spirit healers in my family, and quite a few little tools, things that we could use if you would like me to help a little bit. I could try to determine what the nature of your feeling lost is, and we could perhaps try to take some of that burden from your shoulders. Maybe even ask the spirits for some guidance if you would like. Yeah? Okay. No one thing is a sure deal, I suppose. It's a bit of a subjective art, I guess. So it does take you being open to whatever it is that we do. Open to listening to the spirits. But if that sounds like something that you can do, then I would be happy to help in whatever way I can. Okay, wonderful. Let's see, let's start with some incense, I think. Incense is a wonderful way to just sort of soothe the spirit, calm the mind, and help us open ourselves up to the powers that be. Okay. This is my favorite little incense burner here. The incense comes in a little circle. Well, a spiral, really. And it goes, you start burning here, and it goes round and round and round. It takes quite a long time to get to the center. It's a nice, long burning incense, and it's a very gentle, pleasant smell. There. That will just let off a gentle smoke. We can both enjoy it. Okay. Now that we have some incense burning, why don't we try to get a better reading on your energy, if that's all right with you. Okay. I'll start out just by guiding you through a few deep breaths. And while you're breathing, I want you to really think about releasing. Picture that negative energy, the stress that you're feeling, the feeling of being lost, that burden that you have. Sort of bring that to the front. And I'll be able to interpret it a little bit and also perhaps alleviate some of that pressure for you. Okay? Okay, so let's take a few deep breaths. If you'd like, you can take your palms and place them just sort of up like this in an open way. And that's sort of a symbolism of being ready to let go. Okay, let's take some deep breaths together. Breathe in. Hold it. And out. Breathe in. Hold. And out. Good. One more time. Breathe in. Hold it. And out. Well done. All right, now I'm just going to get a little bit closer to you, if that's all right, and I'll see if I can't get a reading on your energy here, okay? Just going to sort of start with a general sense here. Then we'll see where we should go from here. Okay. You see. Okay. Interesting. There's definitely something important about you. Quite a burden that you bear, isn't there? I see. Okay. Yeah. Ooh. So I'll just sort of get a sense, a good sense of what we're dealing with here. You're on a journey. A long, arduous journey that has taken some interesting turns, hasn't it? Especially recently. Yeah. And now, you're not sure where to go next. It can be a difficult spot in a journey after having felt like you've already come so far and then sort of hitting a wall, perhaps a fork in the road, and you don't know where to go. You've already expended so much energy and you have to see this through, but you're just not sure how yet. Well, hopefully we can answer that question a little bit, all right? Okay. Now, I do have a few different methods that we could try. What I would like to try first, I think, is these over here. They may not look like anything special. Just little pieces of bark from an alder tree. But alder trees are, well, they're filled with much wisdom according to the spirits, according to the fairies. Very often fairy hovels are made from alder trees. And these particular little pieces of bark here were actually blessed by a very powerful fairy herself. So they're able to be used as a divining tool. So what I would like you to do, I want you to place your hands just right over this bowl, okay? I want you to take a few deep breaths. I'm going to count to 5, okay? And as I'm doing that, I want you to think about the questions that you have, the dilemmas that you're facing right now. Bring those to the front of your mind, and your energy will transfer into these little pieces of bark. And then we'll be able to cast them and hopefully gain some wisdom for you. All right? Okay. So just place your hand right over top of the bowl like that. Good. And we're going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Now they should be full of your energy. So let's cast them, shall we? See what the spirits have to tell us. All right. Very interesting reading, to be sure. You have been on a very long journey for quite some time, haven't you? And it hasn't been without its roadblocks, I suppose you could say. Challenges that have come up that you were not anticipating, but that you have faced with the best of your ability. You have had to give up quite a lot to get to where you are. Sacrificing friendships, comfort, home even. Your path so far has been filled with much uncertainty. Often you can only really see one step ahead of you. And now the path becomes even a little more murky. The steps, the guidance that you've had so far becomes even a little bit less clear. You've already faced so many difficulties, so much danger. And you're tired. And that's all right. It's understandable. Really it is. But look at this little piece here. This means that although you may be embarked on your journey alone, you haven't really been alone. Not entirely anyway. You have met kind souls, people who have helped you, people who have guided you, people who have given you exactly what you needed when you needed it. You've actually been quite blessed by the Lady Fate in having the people in your life that you need at just the right time. And although this mostly talks about your past and where you've come from, I can see that these people in your life are going to continue to be important, even more crucial. It may be time to open up a little bit more to these people, to share with them this incredibly crucial journey that you're on. This huge part of who you are that they might not know. It might be time. Just something to consider. A very interesting reading, to be sure. Whatever this burden that you seem to be bearing, it's very important, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I suppose that helped us glean a little bit of information about your situation, but it didn't lend too much guidance, I suppose. Let's try something else, shall we? I have just the thing. Inside of here, I have what is called a set of oracle cards. Now, oracle cards are imbued with different energies from nature and can be used to help us understand our past, make sense of our present, and sometimes give us advice to determine our future. These cards in here particularly draw energy from the power of the moon. The moon is a very important celestial body that has all kinds of wisdom that it can share with us. In many stories and folklore, the moon is a source of mystery. It can also be a source of wisdom, a source of energizing, and a source of guidance. So all of these different cards have different phases of the moon, different specific positions of the moon, different places that the moon is in the sky, and each of them have a slightly different energy, a slightly different lesson to teach us. So, let's see, shall we? Let's see what we can learn from these cards. All right. Now I want you to place your hands on top of the cards, similar to what you did to the bark. Take a deep breath in, and then a deep breath out. And as you do that, I want you to think about your energy going into the cards. You could even picture it, if you'd like, a sort of a glowing light going from your hands into the cards, if you would like. And that will imbue your energy into the cards. All right, deep breath in and out. Wonderful. All right, let's see here. Let's spread these out for you. We're going to start out asking the cards perhaps some more information about your past, challenges that you've already faced. And that will help us determine what might happen in the future too. So, I would like you to choose 3 cards. All right. Okay, there's the first one. That one. There's the second card. And one more. All right. Let's see what they say, shall we? The full moon in Libra. A win-win outcome is forecast. The full moon in Libra is a sign of partnership, of falling in love perhaps, or closely relating to someone. Since full moons are about climaxes and conclusions, and having drawn this for your past, it suggests that perhaps you've started a new relationship recently, or that an important existing relationship changed somehow, whether that's coming to an end or moving to a new level of commitment. Just as seasons come and go, people come to us for a reason, and sometimes they leave. So if a relationship has ended recently, rest assured that it's doing so at the right time. Try not to fight it. This card may also mean that you've entered a new professional relationship. Maybe someone that has meant something deeply to this journey that you are on. Someone who has helped you quite a lot. This card encourages you to find a balance between your desires and the people around you. Balance is very important to Libra, and the full moon brings things to a peak. Dramas and upsets can bring partnerships to an end. But Libra also brings love, energy. So perhaps negotiations will be easier. Let's look at your second card. New moon in Sagittarius. New moon, of course, symbolizing new beginnings. Luck is on your side. So perhaps you've had some lucky circumstances lately with this journey of yours. Someone who seems to be looking out for you. Perhaps the Lady Fate herself. The new moon in Sagittarius has a new sort of adventurous energy about it. Perhaps even willing to take some new risks and things. So perhaps in your journey you've had some good energy, some good momentum lately as you've been finding out what this adventure is going to bring you. Maybe you started out this adventure looking for something for other people, but you've found some adventure and some good fortune for yourself. This card symbolizes that you have received some sort of gift recently. Or perhaps that things in your past are going to lead to a gift coming very soon. Interesting. So, new relationships and a good amount of luck have been in your past. Let's see what this card means. A waning moon. A moon that slowly moves from full to smaller and smaller and smaller. This is a moon that symbolizes release. After a big climax, things sort of falling away. Sometimes that can be painful, but sometimes it can be very good and healthy. Everything in our life happens for a reason. And us releasing things is no different. So pulling this for your past, perhaps you've needed to release some things along the way. Perhaps that's the comfort of home, of familiarity as you have gone to new places and learned new things. Perhaps it's even some old beliefs that you had. Oftentimes when we travel and we learn new things, we can learn more about our world and the people in it. And our worldview changes, broadens, and we learn something new. And in the process, maybe we have to let go of older beliefs. In any case, you've certainly had to give up quite a lot to get to where you are now. Interesting. An interesting reading for the past. A very interesting first reading. Fascinating cards, to be sure. All right. I'm going to just shuffle them a little bit here. And then when I'm done, I would like you to cut the deck. Just take off a portion of the top and then switch it with the bottom. And then we'll do it again. But this time we'll focus on the present. So we gleaned a bit of information about your past. Now we will see if we can learn anything new about your present situation. Hopefully you'll be able to learn something new. Or at least gain clarity, gain some sort of closure, perhaps, on things that have happened in your recent past or things that are happening now. All right. Those should be shuffled now. Now you cut the deck, all right? Okay. Right there. Okay. Yes, of course, it's up to you. All right. Wonderful. Now let's spread these out again, and I'll have you pick another 3 cards. Any 3 that you wish. That one first, all right? Which one next? It's all right, you can take your time. Whichever one you feel is right. Okay. And then one more. That one. Okay. Let's see what these cards have to offer us, shall we? All right. It's an interesting one to start with, isn't it? The new moon in Pisces. Now, new moons in general are a time of new beginnings. And it is a time to sort of evaluate your life and take stock of things as you plan for the moon ahead. But this one in particular is telling you it's time to meditate and contemplate. Perhaps this means that you've received some new information recently that you'll need some time to process. Or perhaps it means that you've been carrying on at such a pace, moving so quickly from one thing to the next, that maybe it's time to just have some time to breathe. Give yourself the space to perhaps heal, perhaps think about what you've learned so far. Really take the time to determine what your next steps should be. And think very carefully. Pisces is a sign of reveries, of mysteries, or perhaps depths of emotion, idealism, romance even. It is a water sign and a sign of the unconscious. Its energy is deep, like the watery depths. The new moon in Pisces indicates that it's a time to listen to your feelings and allow your emotions free rein. Perhaps you've been putting your emotions aside for a while as you've been on this journey, but it's time now to let those emotions flow, not to ignore them. You know, as a spirit healer, I used to see quite a lot of people who had troubled spirits because they tried to just push those emotions away. But this card gives you permission to let yourself feel. Our emotions are important. They're not things that just happen. They happen for a reason, and they can teach us just as much as logic can sometimes. So this card is an encouragement to let yourself feel, to not ignore those emotions anymore, or not to push them aside and say that you're being silly. No. Our emotions are an important tool to help evaluate how our soul is doing. And it's time to let your soul tell you. Interesting. What a fascinating card to begin with. Let's move on to the second, shall we? Another new moon. This time in Aries. Aries is a very passionate, energetic, fiery sign. And pulling this card means that it's time to take action. Pulling this card second after pulling this card, that it's time to meditate and contemplate. Maybe you're about to enter into a time where it is time to take a break. But after you've taken that break, after you've taken the time to listen to your emotions, then it will be time again to set out, to make decisions, to continue on this journey that you've been on. This card, generally, if you're waiting for something to happen in your life, if you're looking for something new to start, pulling this card is a very positive sign. It is a resounding yes. The flame has been lit. Things have already been put into course. That something big is about to begin. This card is also an encouragement. Don't you even think about giving up. Perhaps the past, the beginning of your journey has been a challenge, and it may be tempting to just let it all go. But this card is your encouragement that good things and new beginnings and new exciting horizons are just around the corner. If you give up now, it will all be for nothing. But this card is an exciting and a gentle encouragement, saying, keep going. Don't give up. What an interesting combination, these two cards. Fascinating. Let's see what this last one says, shall we? Another new moon. Interesting. You are definitely at a period of time where new beginnings are right at your feet. And this one is the new moon in Scorpio. Fascinating. Work through your fears. Interesting. Scorpio is the sign of death and rebirth. It can be a bit dark, this sign. Even scary, perhaps. Many times when we face shadows, we wish to look away. But the energy of Scorpio demands that we face our shadows. And in fact, it's through working through those dark times that we get to the light. And this card suggests that there is a rebirth coming. That darkness that you're experiencing now is not going to be dark forever. We all live in a cycle. Birth, life, death, and rebirth. And this card is a confirmation that that rebirth is coming. It may not be all rainbows and good things coming your way. There may be times where it is even a little dark. But this new birth will be deep and transforming. It's time to face the darkness. Face those things that you may be afraid of. And this card encourages you that if you do that, you'll come out in the light. You'll come out the other side stronger, or wiser, or bolder, or improved in some way from your hard work of working through your fears, your insecurities, your worries, things that have been holding you back. They won't be there for long. What an interesting spread for your present. You're entering a time of meditation to let your feelings flow. And then it will be time to take action with new beginnings and a good thing on the horizon. And there may be times when you are called upon to work through the darkness. But if you do, you will see the light. Fascinating. A fascinating reading. Interesting. Sounds like you have been through quite a lot lately, haven't you? Yeah. I mean, I had already mostly gleaned that from just your energy and the bark, but you really have been through quite an ordeal. Well, I'm glad that you ended up at my door tonight. If the storm hadn't have happened, you would be in Whisperwind by now. Which, if that's home, then, I'm sure that it would be nice to be home, but hopefully your time here will be beneficial. At least restful. All right. Now, for our last set of cards, I want you to think about the future. You can ask the cards a specific question, or just sort of put out a general question of guidance. What do I do next? Where do I go from here? Not physically, maybe, but just what are my next steps? All right. Now, why don't you cut the deck again like you did before? Wherever you think is right. Okay. Excellent. Let's spread them out one more time, shall we? All right, now, as you pick the 3 cards for this reading, I want you to keep that question, that request of the cards in mind, all right? Where do I go from here? What are my next steps? Or whatever other specific question you might have. Okay. That one? All right. That one next. One final card. Okay. Let's see. What energy of the moon and the spirits would like to tell you about your future. The cardinal moon. Fascinating. A cardinal moon. It symbolizes a strong beginning. The cardinal signs are those that like to take charge, be organized, get things started, and get things done. This card means that it's time to be bold, to start on this new journey. It may be time even to be a little bit bossy. But it's time to take charge of a situation and steer things the way that you want them to go. Speak up for what you want or what you need. And if you're serious about sorting out a difficult situation, you may need to be the one to take the lead in some way, to step up. This sign is a reminder that we are all in charge of our own destiny, and it's time for you to take charge of it. This is a reminder to be bold, to follow your heart and your emotions, but also avoid recklessness. Sometimes new starts can be a little bit slow, perhaps. Perhaps you just want to get going. But it is, it's important to make sure that you start on the right foot, especially with the spread that we just had with your present. It's time to meditate and contemplate. And then after that, it's time to be bold in your future as your journey continues. Fascinating. Drawing this card is a sign that something new is starting. And it may quite possibly require you to take the lead. Interesting. Let's see what our second card says. Another new moon. This time with the Cancer sign. Cancer is a water sign, one of peace, where the energy flows freely and deeply. And this card is a sign that you and your loved ones are safe. What a wonderful message. Perhaps as you start this new journey, there may be times where you feel as though you are in peril, or the people you care about may be in danger because of your decisions. But this card is saying that as long as you stay on the path that you're on, those that you care about are going to be okay in the end. It may be difficult to see that, especially with the darkness that we saw in your last one with the Scorpio card. But this one is telling you that it's all going to be okay. This card may also be a symbol of relationships, of your family life or personal life. And it may be time to let someone get a bit closer to you. Perhaps in the past you've kept people at arm's length because of this journey that you've been on, because you don't want to see other people get hurt or get wrapped up in whatever it is that you find yourself in. But this card is encouraging you that the people in your life are there for a reason. There may be moments of danger, but ultimately, in the end, they're going to be okay. And so are you. So let these people speak to you. Let them get closer to you. Let them ease your worries and your insecurities. It's time to reconnect with people that perhaps you've pushed away to keep safe. Or perhaps this is a meaning that you need to take better care of yourself and nurture yourself more. In any case, whatever is coming, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but what is coming down the road is going to be positive. And you and the people that you care about are going to be okay. It's an excellent message, isn't it? We have one final card. Let's see what the spirit of the moon has to say about your future. Another new moon. You certainly have a new beginning. A very important new beginning coming, don't you? This is the new moon in Gemini, telling you that communication is going to be key in your journey. Gemini has an energy of communication and socializing. Whatever is coming, whatever this new beginning is, it will bring new ideas, perhaps new travel, new relationships. This is a wonderful time to get out there and be honest with the people in your life. Be honest about how you feel about them. This card is also a reminder to not be in your head all the time, but to listen with your heart and to speak from your heart. It may be something that feels a bit scary. It certainly can be intimidating to put your heart out there. But this card is saying that that communication, that being open in that way, is going to lead to very good things. It's going to lead to a new path, being open, in a relationship or in your journey. But either way, make sure that you are communicating what you need, how you feel, and not bottling all of that up. Interesting. What a fascinating reading for your future. A very interesting reading there, don't you think? Very interesting. Seems like you still have quite a long ways to go. But hopefully those answers will help you choose the correct path in the future. All right. Well, let us thank the moon spirits, the spirits in general, for the wisdom that they have shared with us today. Seems as though you are still a bit riddled with stress, aren't you? You know, sometimes learning about the future is actually not a good thing, is it? Sometimes too specific of answers, too foreboding of possible outcomes can place more of a burden on our hearts. Would you mind if I have a recipe for a tea that I make that I think will very much help ease your mind a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it's relatively simple. Most of it is different herbs and things, all of which I grow myself here. I would show you my garden if it wasn't pouring down rain outside. But yes, it should very much help take some of that tension away. Okay, sure. Let me just grab a few things over here. Here we are. This is a very special flower. It's known by many different names, different cultures. Here I believe the most common name is the purple moonflower. There's a blue moonflower and a purple moonflower. The blue moonflower is, well, it's still a little bit rare, but the purple moonflower is incredibly rare. But it has very powerful properties. It's one of my favorite tools to help ease a troubled mind, quiet a worried soul. So why don't I get some of this ready for you? Oh, do you like this? Thank you. It's my favorite way to make floral tea like this. That way you get the full potency of the flowers, but don't have to worry about straining afterwards. It's a teaspoon. Not a measuring spoon, but an actual teaspoon. There. And while we let that steep, let's add one more thing to the tea. This might seem a little bit unusual, but in my experience, it works wonders. Now, these obviously you won't be drinking, but these are little turquoise stones. It's a very powerful stone that it helps to regulate our energy. It helps to bring us back to center, to keep good energy flowing. That helps to stop us from feeling stagnant. So, I'm going to, if you're all right with it, drop a few of these stones into the teacup. I know that sounds a bit strange. They'll just sink to the bottom, so you're not at risk of drinking them or anything. But quite a few stones and crystals are so powerful that even just imbuing some of their energy into a liquid or another substance is enough to give you the benefit of what those stones can do. Okay, just drop some of those in here. There we are. Just another minute or so, and that should be ready to drink. Now, this tea is all well and good for this evening, but if you would like, I could make you a medicinal tea that you could take with you. Something that should help with the nerves, the stress that you have, as well as just sort of help keep you moving in the right direction. Help keep you open to the guidance of the spirits, as well as, any twists or turns that the road might throw to you. It's a very nice, calming, centering, guiding sort of tea. Okay. Well, thank you. Yes, I think this will be very helpful. Something that you can, like I said, take with you. Money. Oh, it's a little difficult to put monetary value on something like this. You just promised me that you will try to remain open to the spirits, to the guidance of the world around us. That would be payment enough. Okay. Yeah. Just grab a few things. I'm going to start out by lighting a few candles before I start to work. Now, candles have a very powerful magic of their own. Fire, as I'm sure you know, is a very powerful element and has all sorts of energy that it possesses. And candle magic in particular is sort of a channel for that, and can also serve as a way to learn from the spirits as well. Now, with candle magic, color is important. Not everyone knows that, but it is. It's very important. Each color of candle, you get different colors in candles by mixing different herbs, different things with them. And that can carry with it some of its own energy as well as just light energy in general. Different colors of light mean different things. So I'm going to light a few candles for us, okay? All right. These first two, these little pillar candles, as you can see, are a nice deep blue. And that, in candle magic, is the color of emotions, emotional energy. So this will give us some clarity when we're dealing with these difficult emotions of stress and worry, and help direct that in a way that is helpful. Then red is the color of love. I'm sure you know. It's also a color associated with courage and strength. So this will help give you the courage to do what you must, as well as to face the unknown. All right. Now we can begin. pairing up dried herbs like this, it helps release some of the juices that are in there, some of the energy. So it'll be a little more potent. Then we'll grind them together a little bit too. That will make it even stronger. So we know that you will be getting the full effect of this very relaxing tea. This is moon water. Water that has been purified and then left out on a windowsill during a full moon so that it can be charged with the moon's energy. It's excellent for cleansing as well as for serving as a base for different elixirs and other things. There we are. Now this flower is a very special type of flower, not found in this kingdom. But it will slowly dissolve in the moon water over time. You can see the petals are already starting to separate. It may not fully dissolve right this moment, but before you start to drink it, it will have been fully absorbed by the moon water and then fully imbued into the other ingredients as well. All right. We'll add all of our herbs in here. There we go. Had a good stir. All right, well, that takes care of the herbs. There's a few more things I'd like to add in here for you, though. I have a few elixirs, I guess you could call them, already made up that are supposed to help with different emotions, different areas that people may struggle mentally. So I'd like to add a few of those in here as well, just to increase the potency of some of these herbs, as well as to help you as the drinker sort of accept the energy and the power of these herbs. All right. It's a lovely potion, don't you think? Now remember what I said about the turquoise, that sometimes just imbuing a liquid with the energy of a certain stone is enough to sort of give you the benefit of that stone. Well, the stones in the bottom of here are a very powerful stone called rose quartz. Rose quartz is the stone of love, not necessarily romantic love, though it can be, but also a stone of binding relationships, of helping heal relationships, as well as helping an individual love themselves. It's a very powerful stone, very powerful skill to have, to be able to love oneself, and unfortunately one that oftentimes we struggle with. It's all right. We all do from time to time. Some people more than others. But this potion, after being imbued with this rose quartz, is a very powerful tool to help get you in the right direction. Now this one, it's another very powerful one. This one has less to do with self-love and more of just a general sense of openness, of helping you accept the healing that this tea will give you, helping you see the path in front of you with acceptance, with anticipation instead of with fear. Another very powerful tool that I think will help you. Just give that a good mix. Make sure all the ingredients are properly blended. There we are. Let's add some of this one in there, shall we? That, I think, will do it. Now this is sort of a twofold medicine. The herbs in here will be imbued with the power of those potions as they're sitting in here. And then, when you're about to head to bed, I want you to take out some of these herbs, just the herbs, and put them into a tea. And then once the tea is gone, you can also take this liquid and drink it too. Just strain out any of the smaller pieces that may be in there. And you can sip on it, just one sip each night. And then you'll get the full benefit of all of those potions, all of the ingredients. Because as the herbs are being imbued with the liquid is also being imbued with the herbs. You can add just a spoonful into another kind of tea if you would like, or you can just take a sip or two of it. Either way, you'll get the benefits. And as you sit and drink it, I want you to think about the future. Think about this task that you have at hand, and let the spirits, let the power of these herbs speak. Whether that is to offer you guidance, which sometimes may be the case, or whether that is to calm your worries. That might also be the case. But whatever happens, it will be up to you to accept it, to be open to it. All right? Here, let me get these. I'll put these in here for you, so you can take them with you after the storm passes. Now, do you have a little spoon like this to help, brew your tea without having to strain it? No. You know what? I think I've got another one around here somewhere. Why don't you take this with you too? And you can have the tea and the spoon to help brew it up nicely for you. All right. Well, you're welcome. Honestly, I should be the one thanking you. You're the one who's given me an opportunity to use my craft once more. It's been a long time. Quite a long time. But I knew when I found this cottage and when my life took the turn that it did, I knew that there was a reason for it. That the Lady Fate guided me here for a purpose. Maybe that purpose was meeting you. Maybe there will be other visitors along the way too. You never know. But I'm here whenever someone needs a spirit healer. Sometimes it's funny, you just sort of find yourself there, whether you intend to or not. Lady Fate is funny that way. Oh, I do have one more gift that I would like to give you. I have your tea and the spoon in here. And I would also like to give you this. This is one of my very favorite crystals. Not just because of the beautiful hue and how lovely the cluster looks when it catches the light, but also because it is just a very powerful, very helpful crystal. See, amethyst has a very soothing energy. It can help to neutralize negative thoughts when your mind starts to spiral. It can help to ease worries when you don't know what lies ahead. And it can help to relieve tension when you face situations that seem dire. It's a very useful stone. Personally, I think everyone should have an amethyst. So, I would like to give you this little amethyst cluster as well, okay? Okay. Here, put that in here. Tuck it in. Nice and safe. Now, once you leave this place, you can bring this with you, okay? Well, it doesn't really seem like that storm is letting up, does it? I suppose it is getting rather late. Why don't you try to get some sleep? Yeah, there's a bed over in the corner, over there. Why don't you go lie down for a little while? You look like you could use some rest. Don't worry about a thing. I'll be up for a little while doing some studying, some cleansing of my crystals and different things, but don't you worry. You go over there, you get some sleep. Should be close enough to the fire to keep you warm without making you too hot. Okay. Well, I'm very glad that the Lady Fate brought you to my doorstep. I hope that this has been helpful for you, as well as me. Good. Good, I'm glad to hear it. Well, you go on over there, get some sleep. I'm sure the storm will let up before the morning, and then you can complete your journey to Whisperwind, hopefully feeling a little more refreshed in body and spirit. Good. Well, pleasant dreams. I'll see you in the morning.